so excited to welcome you to PDX Reading's Virtual Learning Academy. My name is Barbara Steinberg. I'm the founder and owner of PDX Reading. And though I stand before you today as a trainer of teachers, my roots are actually in the classroom. I knew from a really young age that I wanted to be a teacher. This is my Dr. Seuss book that I filled out probably about the age of 5 or 6, where I wrote in my kid handwriting, I want to be a teacher. And a teacher I became. For 12 years, I taught 4th and 5th grade. And I actually chose to teach 4th and 5th grade because I didn't want to have to teach children how to read. The aspects of reading that I loved were how to analyze characters, motives, and make connections to the world. And of course, within a year or maybe even less, I realized that I had lots and lots of students sitting in my 4th grade classroom who had significant struggles with reading. And even though I knew that they were really smart and they could talk about their reading and they would engage with me when I would read aloud, when I looked at a piece of their writing or I listened to them read aloud to me, there was a huge disconnect. And I was confused. I really didn't understand what was going on. They were working hard, I was working hard, and yet the effort relative to the progress was inconsistent. Well, this wasn't a problem that was isolated to 1 year. This was something that kept me up at night, thinking about these kids. And one day, I was talking to my colleagues, and I started to describe the characteristics I was seeing in these students, both strength and weakness. And one of my colleagues, she said to me, "You know, Barbara, that sounds like dyslexia." And I looked at her and I kind of scoffed because my understanding of dyslexia was that it was about letter and number reversals. And she said, very kindly, "You know what, why don't you read this book, Overcoming Dyslexia?" So I took the book, I am a lifelong learner after all, and I read it cover to cover multiple times. And I had 2 aha moments. My first is I was so upset that the number one reason that students struggle with learning how to read and write was something that I had never learned in my teacher prep program. The second aha moment I had was that there is a body of knowledge that transcends curriculum, that transcends socioeconomic status, geography, class size, and any of the other barriers we have to teaching children. And that body of knowledge, which is now called the science of reading, has been in existence for decades. Yet our understanding as educators is just beginning. I made a really difficult decision in 2010 to leave the classroom. I loved teaching. I was born to teach. But I knew that, like me, my colleagues in schools throughout the states and around the world needed this body of knowledge if they were going to do their best work. And so, since 2010, I have traveled the country and presented on this topic, the science of reading. Research tells us that 95% of students can become skilled readers if we have the knowledge, the tools, and the strategies. Your journey on the science of reading is just beginning. Whether you've been teaching for 10 years or 20 years or you're new to the field, we are lifelong learners. And as Maya Angelou says, do the best you can until you know better. And then when you know better, do better. I look forward to being on this journey to learn with you, to support your work. We can teach 95% of students to be skilled readers, and it starts today.